Hello, I'm Tom Wong, and I'm a physics professor at Creighton, and I'll be presenting some work on improving student self-confidence in quantum computing with the Qubit Touchdown Board Game. So this is work that I did in collaboration with Christina Armbruster, who is a physics teacher at Bellevue West High School, and with Gintaras Duda, who is also a physics faculty member here at Creighton. So Qubit Touchdown is a two-player competitive board game that I created to introduce students to quantum computing. So I use this in my classes. And the gameplay mirrors football. So students take turns playing cards in order to move a football across a field, and whoever scores the most touchdowns by the time all the cards are used up wins. In terms of getting copies of the game, there are free printables on my website at thomaswong.net if you want to print your own copies or make your own copies. There's also a video describing how to do that. Or you can purchase a copy from the Game Crafter, which is an independent board game manufacturer in Wisconsin, and they will manufacture however many you order. So if you order one, they'll make one. If you order 10, they'll make 10, and they will send them to you. And so the main results for this study are that we did a study with 107 public high school students that are either in Precalculus, AP Stats, or AP Physics 1. And what we found was that students' interest in quantum computing improved as a result of playing the game, that their self-confidence also improved from playing the game, and then also from learning about the game's connections to quantum computing, and that they found the game to be easy to learn, and they found it to be enjoyable. And so I'll go into some more details in a moment, but we do have a paper about this that goes into far more detail. It's been accepted for publication in the Physics Teacher, and it's also available on the archive, which is a preprint server. So the way our study worked was we first established a baseline. So I told the students just 2 sentences about quantum computing, and they are that a quantum computer is a new kind of computer that's based on the laws of quantum physics. It can do certain things faster than normal computers because it follows a different set of rules. After that, students filled out the first part of a survey. You can see on the table to the right, it says part 1, and the 2 questions are, I am interested in exploring quantum computing, and I'm confident in my ability to learn quantum computing. And then they just evaluated those statements on a Likert scale from strongly disagree to strongly agree. After that, I taught them the rules of the game and how to play it with no quantum computing references, just football references. And then students played Qubit Touchdown with each other. And then they filled out the second part of the survey. And then there's 4 more questions. The first 2 are the same questions, which are what's their interest and confidence in quantum computing now, followed by if they enjoyed playing the game and if they found it easy to learn. And then in the third part, I explained to them the connections of the game to quantum computing, that I taught them what a quantum bit is. That can be a combination of 0 and 1, and that the positions on the board correspond to different states of a qubit. I talked about the cards that they play to move the qubit around, to move the football around the board. And I explained that those correspond to quantum gates that are used in quantum computing, which rotate a quantum bit state. And I talked about how kicking off, which is then after you score a touchdown or to start the game, that corresponds to a quantum measurement, which yields 0 or 1 with some probability. After that explanation, obviously, in person when I did it with them, I went into much more detail. But after that, they filled out part 3 of the survey. And that's questions 7 and 8 here, which again are the same 2 questions from the first 2 parts, which are about their interest and their confidence. And then the remaining questions are whether or not they like the game, essentially, and thought it was a good tool for learning. So we took all this data and looked at the percentage of students that rated this as strongly disagree and agree. And we grouped those together into an overall disagree result, and that's table 2 under D here. And then we threw out the students who were neutral for each response. And then for agree and strongly agree, we grouped those together into an overall agree number. And so we did that for all of the questions here. And then from there, we compared the questions that were the same from each of the 3 parts. So question 1 was about their interests before playing the game. Part 2 was about their interest after playing the game, and part 3 was about their interest after learning the connections of the game to quantum computing. And if you compare that here in table 3, you can see that students' interest went up as a result of playing the game, but then it did not go up any further after learning the interests, or after learning what the connections of the game were to quantum computing. And we think that that is because for where these students were in their high school careers, that most of them had already decided if they were interested in science or not. And then for the second question that spanned all three parts, which is about their confidence. So question 2, question 4, and question 8. You can see that as a result of playing the game, their confidence in learning quantum computing went up by 11.3%. And after learning the game's connections to quantum computing, it went up an additional 21.5% for an overall increase of 32.8%. And so what we can say with good confidence, if you look at the p-values there, is that students' interest in learning quantum computing improved as a result of playing the game, and their self-confidence in their ability to learn quantum computing increased both from playing the game and from learning the game's connections to quantum computing. And finally, back to table 2, if you look at all the questions about whether or not students found the game easy to learn and whether or not they enjoyed it, their responses were all very favorable. All right, thank you.